When the NCAA basketball tournament, better known as March Madness, starts in 9 days, the University of Connecticut will try and do something that no men's team has done since Richard Nixon was president: win a third straight national title. You might think this would infuse UConn's man in charge with blazing optimism and swollen confidence and sunny exuberance, but you got the wrong guy, especially in what's been a topsy-turvy Husky season. Dan Hurley, only 52, is a generationally accomplished basketball coach. He's also, by his own admission, alternately a brash braggart, a first-team doom and gloomer, and a top-tier eccentric. But say this, there is a method to his madness.
The story will continue in a moment.
Get down there!
This is not a participation trophy coach. Dan Hurley is a human furnace of intensity.
Fire! Fire! Try to make a play on the twin! Try to get the edge! Fade!
Hell-bent on wringing every ounce of potential from his latest roster of UConn players.
It's a zero-sum game. The one that wins is going to have temporary relief. The one that loses is going into a hellhole of suffering. I mean, that for me is how I look at these sports competitions.
And then there's this side of him, a championship coach burning sage the night before the season opener, hoping to ward off bad juju. At the free throw line, the three-point line, and dead spots on the court. Next in Hurley's ritual, spritzes of holy water. Finally, out come bags of garlic bulbs. He's not playing for the camera here, folks. That's the man of the moment in college hoops, on hands and knees, appeasing the basketball gods by placing offerings under the home bleachers.
Let the games begin.
That was November.
Oh, man.
4 months later,
This season so far has been blank.
Unlike the last two.
Meaning what?
Just, I mean, at times very frustrating, gratifying, relief, suffering, relief, suffering.
the suffering began early. On the team's first road trip, UConn, then ranked second nationally, headlined the field at the Maui Invitational Tournament. A chance for 3 games and some island R&R, unless you're Dan Hurley.
We got to talk about Maui.
Oh, no.
Tie game, overtime. Who gets a technical foul under those circumstances?
This guy right here.
And this game is tied!
92 all, the clock dwindling in overtime, UConn's ball. A missed jumper, and on the rebound, a foul is called on UConn's number 30, Liam McNeely.
Wow.
Left side of your screen, that's Hurley so apoplectic, he's floored in more ways than one.
The force of the blown call literally knocked me to the ground is how I'm trying to justify it.
Unamused, the officials tagged Hurley with a game-changing technical foul. UConn lost that game and 2 more in successive nights. Hurley was, by turns, irate and inconsolable.
I gather after that, Gino Auriemma, the women's coach here, 11-time national championship winner, reached out to you. Remember what he said?
If the only outcome that makes you a successful coach or a successful season is whether you hang up a national championship banner, then you should get out immediately.
That register?
Not at the moment, because I think in the back of my mind I was saying, well, what the hell else am I in this for? But then he stayed at practice, and he kept coaching me from the sideline, like barking at me a little bit. Hey, Dan, the joy of relationships with your players, the joy of getting the most out of your team. If you're only in it for the championship pursuit and none of that other stuff means anything to you anymore, and it's just banners and rings, then you should get out, because it ain't gonna happen every year, buddy.
UConn steadied to win 8 straight after Maui, but this season has been riddled with inexplicable lapses. It's made Hurley wistful for the 2 previous seasons when his Huskies didn't just win the title each year, they ran roughshod over the March Madness fields. No opponent came within 13 points of UConn in any of the tournament games. Hurley offered us a glimpse of how a championship coach goes about the job.
Most colleges are stealing ball screen offensive ideas from the NBA, whereas for us it was taking off-ball movement, less dribbling, more passing, more cutting, more screening that would represent more of a European professional model.
The other guys can borrow from the Lakers and the Celtics. You're going to Turkish league.
We're going to Turkey. We're going to Israel. We're going to France, England. We're going all over the place. This is a heck of a thing to look at.
Hurley showed us his play sheet from UConn's national championship win over Purdue last April. Every play affixed with multiple options. It's five-man chess, and Hurley is a grandmaster. All but fated for the role.
Are you kidding me? Stop celebrating!
His father, Bob Sr., was a hard-ass Hall of Fame high school coach in Jersey City who won 28 state titles.
Hurley, he finishes!
Dan's older brother Bobby, an iconic college player at Duke, won back-to-back national championships of his own. Dan, on the other hand, struggled as a point guard at Seton Hall.
You've talked about being the third Hurley.
Just how I failed to play up to, live up to, succeed up to. The Hurley standard in basketball was, it caused a lot of pain.
Fans piled on, sometimes chanting, "Bobby's better."
It gets to the point where you're a shell of yourself. You're not shooting the ball the way you have your whole life. You have a hard time catching the ball or even dribbling the ball. You got the yips in a way.
In December 1993, it got so bad he left the Seton Hall team after only 2 games to get his mind right. Dan rejoined the following year, but the joy from playing basketball had been drained. Coaching, though, has offered a second chance.
I got to make up for what I didn't achieve as a player, and I got to make up for that right now as a coach, because my career eats away at me still.
Still?
It bothers me. If I see a picture of myself with the Seton Hall uniform or a clip, there's an embarrassment about how that went.
With his success at UConn, he finally feels worthy of the family name.
It's not me versus my dad as a coach or what I've accomplished relative to Bob in basketball now. It's just this bucket that we're all just going to contribute to, and we'll see if we're one of the best basketball families of all time.
That's what the goal is now.
For me, and that's been a shift, and it probably didn't happen for me until I had my moment.
During his moment, Hurley's been the toast of Connecticut. The Los Angeles Lakers tried to poach him as their coach last summer. Hurley declined, reckoning that he's better built for the college game. Excruciating as this season has been at times.
Oh my God.
As evidenced by this coaches' meeting dissecting a February loss to St. John's.
Oh my God. Oh God. Oh, just let me suffer through that. How does that happen?
But he knows better than to bring the agony of his work home.
Oh no, don't come home like that, please. I am not in the mood.
Andrea Hurley has a standard pep talk for the college sweetheart she married in 1997. I love you, but get over yourself.
She's very tough on me.
Because he'll get himself so down and he'll get in such a funk that if I get in a funk with him, we're gonna be no good. So I have to almost kind of I don't wanna say shame him, but this is ridiculous. It's a stupid game, and snap out of it.
One team wins and
one team loses. What's the big deal? It's I always said, it's a 50-50 shot.
There's somebody wins,
Come on,
somebody
there's
loses.
not 12 options you could have.
I suspect it's very helpful to have someone in this household who doesn't necessarily rip her hair out when the team misses a screen or someone misses an open jumper.
I don't even know what that is.
with the way that I'm wired.
You know what a screen is.
I have no idea.
She doesn't know, and she's not playing for the character. She has no idea.
I have no idea.
And if I was coming home to somebody that wanted to talk about a new lineup, a new defense, rehash the game, my personality type and the way I'm wired, it would never work.
This sounds really healthy.
Yeah.
It sounds like your perspective balances his intensity.
Oh yeah, very well, very well.
This is where my day starts.
To ease Dan's churning mind, Andrea designed a private basement sanctuary.
Oh, man.
First thing every morning, he comes here to clear his head.
This is it. This is it. We got a little bit of everything in here.
It's part shrine,
Take my Bible out, I'll pray, and then I'll do some meditation.
art studio, bat cave meets man cave.
I have an affinity for superheroes. I wear the socks, I wear the underwear.
The animal kingdom is represented too.
I keep the referee in the corner over there.
You yell at your zebra the way you do the three guys at
I do. I admonish. That's why he's in the corner.
Not all of Hurley's rough edges have been zenned over in his basement. In January, Hurley harangued a ref, and internet lip readers filled in the blanks.
You talk openly about the role of doubt and self-doubt, and then there was also the viral video of you during a game this season telling a ref, you know where I'm going, saying you're the best coach in the bleeping sport.
Yeah.
Help us reconcile that.
I'm complex. Now listen, I had no idea. If I knew the camera was on me, there's no way I would have said it. But I'm embarrassed. So yeah, when I get into it, sometimes I will say or do anything that I think may give me some type of an advantage, either with an official or with firing my team up, or with carrying myself with a confidence and a swagger that is going to give my team the ability to play better.
Hurley harkens back to an era when college basketball celebrated its larger-than-life coaches. Hardly the biggest change in a sport where players now can enter a transfer portal and shop for the highest bidder, a disruptive force for even the best teams.
Do you have players right now that are fielding offers and considering playing for other teams next season?
50% of my roster or more.
50?
50% of my roster or more is at least, considering going in the portal, if not already knows what school that they're going to.
Well, half your team is already thinking in terms of whether they want to transfer to another program or not.
Yeah, and in a couple of those cases, they've already talked to the coaching staff at future school and have an idea of what their NIL is going to be there.
The money.
Yeah.
What does it do to a culture of a college basketball team when half the guys are fielding offers for next season to go elsewhere?
Well, look at the volatility this year. The level of volatility in college sports, this has now become a year-to-year proposition. The game has changed completely.
But Dan Hurley still is firmly committed to this team, one that did pass the 20-win threshold yet again. And he's approaching March Madness with optimism, the guarded variety.
Can you win 3 in a row?
Yeah, there's a path to it.
Can this be a successful season if you don't win a 3rd straight title?
Gino. Not totally, because I didn't put together a team that could do it. So once you've done it, anytime that you don't do it, deep down inside, you're not going to look at those years the same way. There's going to be a feeling of failure that comes with that.
Even if you leave it all out on the floor, if you don't hang a 3rd banner.
Fail. It's fail. I can live with it. It won't be this off season of pain and suffering and it's just killing you the whole summer and off season. That's why I'll be able to live with it, but it will still be a failure.
Saying no to the Lakers.
It was tough. The opportunity was a dream.
At 60minutesovertime.com, sponsored by Nurtec ODT.
Yeah.